shooting some b-ball outside of the school when a couple of guys who were up to no good started making trouble in my neighborhood.
Alright, so we are underneath the drift stang and we're still trying to get it running and it's still not getting fuel, so we've traced the power all the way back and we found out that the fuel pump is in fact getting power, and so it's not anything with a cutoff or anything like that, but we need to redo the fuel pump, at least that's what we think it is. And so to do so, we are going to drop the gas tank all the way down and then replace it. Sweet. Alright, so I know we're not getting the best shots underneath here, but Ford uses these straps to hold up these gas tanks. There's one right there, and then there's one over on this side. I don't know if you can see the bolt or not. Actually, I guess it's on this side right here. And so we're going to disconnect those, disconnect the fuel pump relay, and then we got to disconnect the gas tank side, which is over here. And so all it really is just this hose right here that I don't think you guys can see, but we got to get that off, and then it should be able to just fall. So yeah. Alright, so before we take the bolts off, we're going to unplug this switch, and I believe that this is the only switch that we can get to without taking the gas tank off, so we'll have to lower the gas tank and then pull off the rest. And I know that you guys can't see this, so I'm sorry.
Hey, where's that toolbox you brought the pig?
Got it undone, and it's a pain in the ass, but we got it. What's that?
Where's that toolbox you brought the pig? Hey.
That's Justin.
Yeah.
He's ugly.
Yeah, I am. I just need a littler version of what I have.
It's right over there.
Pretty sure that box had one.
I have friends, kind of. Alright, so we're underneath the car again, and got my impact gun out because trying to take these bolts off suck. We got safety glasses on. This is gonna knock all this dirt into my eyes, and they're still gonna get crap in them, and I'm still gonna be mad. So yeah. So I got one out. They're pretty big fucking bolts, and kind of a pain in the ass, but yeah. All right, so we're gonna do the other side now. We got this jack holding up the gas tank so it doesn't crush me. It still might, but we're gonna find out.
Do you need the bigger one, or is that one?
It's that size. That work? Push. Alright, so my air compressor is a piece of shit. So we got this little battery one just in case it ran out, just like it did. Because half the time the thing doesn't even pump. I'm gonna compress. Alright, trying with this gun now. Yeah.
What are you? What is that?
So this is my solution to not being able to reach those bolts and not finding any of my actual extensions. And it's working. So there's 3 bolts on here. you got to take off to drop the funnel piece down to get the gas tank all the way out. So we're taking it off. But for that one, we're gonna need to take that off and then bust our knuckles.
Tar, dude.
What we're complaining about is whatever the fuck that is.
Previous owner's a fucking moron.
No, I think it... So, this is something that's holding the gas tank up right now, and I'm assuming it's like an adhesive that they're supposed to put on. But yeah. So we're lowering this right now. Justin here is going to hold the one side, try and balance it out just a little bit more.
You don't have that much faith in me.
We drained about 10 gallons, so roughly 100 pounds out of there, but it's still pretty heavy.
Good cow. Yeah, it's coming down the side a lot more.
Fucker. Whoops. So we just dropped the camera, but that's all right.
No, I'm betting it's the hose.
So it looks like it's still connected on the right side. So it looks like to get that nozzle actually all the way down and out, you got to take off these 3 bolts right there. And so we're going to take that off. So it looks like this boot is still going to be causing us issues, this rubber boot that's holding all of this in a little bit tighter, but it has 6 bolts holding it, so we think we're just going to cut it so we can make room so it'll actually come through. So yeah.
I want that.
So along with the multiple Dairy Queen spoons that came with this car, apparently they were eating a little hard because it fucking ripped the end off of it. It also came with, I don't know if I can get it to focus, this is like a bookmark and it has a cat on it and it says adventure. I can't really get it to focus all that well. But yeah, so we're cutting this to try and push this down because this is all connected to the fuel tank. And yeah, so once we get that, it should be able to actually drop. All right, so we got it to this point and we can't get it all the way out actually because that boot just doesn't want to come through, and we don't want to force it through because once we actually do force it through, that means we're just going to have to force it back through. And so we have it to this point, and so I'm thinking I can just change the fuel pump as it sits right now because that's the top of the fuel pump right there. We got a decent amount of clearance and it can still come down a little bit more, so I think that's how we're going to do it.
There.
Oh. It's just on there really tight. We got it.
Something cracked. Probably 16 years of shit.
All right. So now that we got it out, I'm starting to think that I'm not going to be able to get it all the way out like this.
I don't think. You can lower the jack.
Can you lower it anymore?
Take up the jack completely if we need.
Okay, so I'm gonna try and wipe some of this dirt out of the way of the gas tank. So I'm not really trying to get all of that in there.
What is that shit? Gas is not that color.
Alright, so I ordered a new fuel pump, so it's on the way. But in the meantime, we're just gonna kind of leave it like this. so this here is the old fuel pump out of the Mustang. And so it came off of this 99, and before that, instead of having a plug like this one does, where it has the positive and negative wires, it had their own little terminals, and then so you just connect the wires, and then you hook it up and should pump fuel. Well, this one was burned out, and we can tell because it wasn't getting any fuel to the car. And then so what I just did is I bench tested it pretty much with my 12 volt battery and some just normal gauge wire. And so I just hooked it all up, and it just doesn't make any noise or anything. And then so I went to the wrecking yard and I got this, which is another Walbro fuel pump, but it's out of a 96 Mustang. And so what I'm pretty much going to do is I'm going to just cut the plugs in the back and then hardwire it in pretty much. And then, so it should work. And then to make sure that it does work currently, I bench tested this one, which I'm going to show you guys, and you should be able to hear it trying to suck some water, or fuel in this case, but I don't know if you guys could hear that. Hopefully you can, because it's kind of a cool little demonstration of how it actually works. I mean, of course, there's a bunch of different relays and fuses going to it, which I'm going to be leaving in the car, but I just wanted to show you guys how it works real fast. So sweet. Now we're going to move to the back of the car, and then, yeah. Alright, so we're behind the Mustang right now, next to the gas tank, so I was going to give you guys a little bit better of a view of what I was talking about, because I know I don't do the best job of explaining stuff. So pretty much, this is the fuel pump, like I was talking about earlier. It has this little filter sock thing that they call it, and it fits down in here into this little canister. And then the top of the canister is filled with different fuel lines, so the actual outlet of the pump that I'm pointing at right here comes right into this little hole, and it has a little gasket around it, and then it pumps the fuel out and into the fuel lines. And like I was talking about how I was going to cut the wires off the plug, obviously black and pink are the two wires, and so those are just going to go right on here, and I'm either going to solder them on, which I'm hoping to do. I got to go find my soldering iron first though. And then, yeah, it all kind of goes back together. This little piece right here is attached to this float that's down in the gas tank. And then it also holds, with this little bracket here, it holds the ground wire for the pump. And then, yeah, so I'm going to put it all back together. And then I'm going to cut these wires and then hardwire them onto the pump. Sweet. So it's became pretty apparent that it's not working out how I wanted to, and so I'm going to try and fold this up, because this is the reason. It just doesn't have enough room, and so I'm going to fold this up and probably zip tie it to hold it in place. Perfect. Okay, so pretty much we've got 2 out of the 3 bolts on that hold the canister back together. So we're going to try and put that last bolt on, and this one's my favorite because there's a hose right on top. And shout out to Sydney for holding it.
Do you want me to hold it again?
Yeah, probably.
that's glowing.
I know. You see it shrinks all up, gets a good connection on that terminal. I know that nothing's gonna break through it.
To be completely honest, that heat gun was like the warmest I've felt in the past like hour.
I know. So I'm just leaving this fucker on. Alright, so now I'm gonna slide this piece up onto this crappy soldering job I just did. How shaky are your hands right now, man?
I'm not too sure.
This is why we solder, kids, when you do a shitty job.
Yeah, you just hope that doesn't go wrong. A couple thousand, you know, maybe a track day breaks, have to take everything apart.
This is kind of like the same deal as grinding after you're done welding. It looks like shit, so you put this on it, and then it looks even worse. And everyone knows what you did.
Except at least here, your gas tank will hide it.
Hopefully not explode.
Hopefully not have to come back to this again for a while.
I might. Alright, so now we're gonna try and get this bad boy back down into the gas tank. And it's got a very specific way it has to go in. It's really not fun trying to get it back down in there. And so what we're gonna do is we're gonna put the float down in.
We have power. Oh, did that just come out or?
What happened?
The top of this bottle. Did this just come out or is this like?
Hey, are you still filming?
Yeah.
Here, let me talk to him real quick. Here, you can even film it if you want. Here, hold this. Make sure I'm on video. I gotta look pretty because I am so fucking hyped that that actually started. Because that's probably one of the more haggard things I've done, opposed from doing the head gasket on my BMW, which was the sketchiest thing I've ever done.
Look at this. Look at your belt setup.
But all we still need is the thermostat, and then we can actually drive the thing a lot. But now that we know it runs, I just had to give it a little bit of gas, and that fucker started right up. I'm hyped up, and so next, what we gotta do is we're gonna get this thermostat, and we gotta get that done. And then I also, though, already have the upper radiator hose when I went and got the radiator with the fan at Pick and Pull. So that's exciting. And then so all I have to do is get the thermostat, and then next is we're gonna hook this up with a tow strap, one of those 5,000 pound, or a huge tow strap that we have. Hook it up to any of the many trees around my house.
I feel like you should disconnect this.
And yeah, we probably will. Then next thing is obviously doing the meanest drift up my driveway. All right. Dylan actually got the fire going now. Shout out to him.
Did you break a hatchet in the process? But
Ethan, listen.
Sydney's on her way. It's a beautiful RX-7. Woo!
I can't run it for too long, so I don't have a thermostat in there.
And you don't want to risk.
Well, I don't want to fucking